Baseball is back, and at Team Toyota, savings and selection are back too. With tons of new Toyota SUVs, trucks, and hybrids to choose from, and with our lineup of over 200 certified used Toyotas, you can find the right fit for you and your budget. Plus, our service and collision centers are here to get you back in the game in no time. Visit one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, or Glen Mills, or online at teamtoyota.net. The Sanchez, baby. The Sanchez is here and maybe one of the best pitchers in the National League. Welcome into the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. I am McKercher, once again, joined by Sean Kane. We are sitting here after Tuesday night's win over the Boston Red Sox. They secure a series win, thank goodness, first one in a while. And now we just sit back and watch Cristopher Sánchez do what Cristopher Sánchez does best, and that that is throwing a complete game, the third of his career. My goodness, he was electric today, and almost if that home run didn't happen in the 4th inning, Sean, I thought we might have seen some history tonight. But We'll start with Sanchez, man. What a performance from him! 12 strikeouts, no walks. He was fantastic on Tuesday night.
You just said one of the best pitchers in the National League. I have him right now, top 5 in baseball, starting pitchers in baseball. When you think of it, you tell me where he ranks. Mm-hmm. But top of your head, Skubal, no particular order. This is my top 5. Skubal, Skeens, his teammate Zach Wheeler. I think maybe Crochet's having a great year. You throw him in there. And Chris Sánchez. Am I missing somebody that should be ranked ahead of Chris Sánchez when it comes to the top 5 starting pitchers in baseball?
Not off the top of my head.
It's crazy. And he just keeps getting better, and he's so consistent. 6 straight starts now where he's given up exactly 1 earned run. And it's not like he's going 5 innings. He's going complete game Tuesday night. He's going 7 1/3 innings. He's going 7 innings. He's going 8 innings. He's giving you length. He's giving up 1 run. His ERA is 2.40 in 20 starts. Maybe next year he'll qualify for the All-Star game. But other than that, I don't know what the guy can do. I think he's one of the most underrated players in baseball, let alone pitchers in baseball. He's just tremendous. His changeup is borderline unhittable. Tons of ground ball outs, as always, on Tuesday night. He's just awesome. And it's time for him to start being viewed as a superstar. No doubt he's one of the top 5 pitchers in the National League. I think he's top 5 in baseball. He's unbelievable. And, Zach Wheeler now, 2.39 ERA in 20 starts. Chris Sánchez, 2.40. So he's right on plane with, the best 1-2 punch in baseball in terms of starting pitching.
Think about it like that, too. We've sat here and praised Zach Wheeler so much. We praised Ranger Suarez. We praised Jesus Luzardo at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. And then again, I feel like we've said it so many times, this guy just kind of flows under the radar every single time. Then he comes out here and he dominates like he did today. To be honest, I thought he was not going to come out for the 9th inning. Ryan Kirkering was
96 pitches to 8, so
he was ready to rock, and he emphatically finishes off that 8th inning by striking out Ref Snyder, who gave up the home run. And Sanchez was asked about that after the game. He said, obviously, he wanted a little revenge for letting that home run up. And man, just the emotion that he brings, man. I love that stuff too.
Yeah, fire.
You give me a little fire on the mound, get a little, yell at the end, get me going.
Yep.
It wasn't crazy. I'm looking at the strikeout leaders in Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. So we got Crochet leading, Skubal 2nd, Wheeler 3rd, Brown 4th from the Astros, Hunter Brown, right?
Yep.
And then Mackenzie Gore, Logan Webb, Dylan Cease, Carlos Rodon, Skeens, and then Sanchez. Yeah. So I think he's better than Hunter Brown. I think he's better than Mackenzie Gore. I think he's better than Logan Webb. I think he's better than Dylan Cease and Rodon. Yeah. So I think if you put, I don't know, maybe I would put him above Crochet.
Okay, then he's 4th.
Yeah.
So you got Skeen, Skubal, Wheeler.
And all of baseball, too.
Yeah. I don't
imagine that.
All those guys are great, but he doesn't take a backseat to any of them. And on the post-game show Tuesday night, Ruben Amaro, obviously former general manager, knows a thing or two about, trying to get good deals done, get good contract extensions done. The deal they gave him last June, that extension with options, team options for 29 and 30. He's under club control through 2030 at a bargain.
It's
I think it was 3 years and $22 million or something with the options that could take it over, close to 40. I mean, 5 years, $40 million for this guy. I mean, it's unbelievable.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And we were sitting here saying Ranger Suarez, now with going into this coming season, will probably hit the market, especially being a Scott Boras client now. We're talking Ranger, who knows now, but we're talking possibly $100 million contract for Ranger Suarez now, especially with Boris. Imagine, and Cristopher Sánchez deserves that and more.
Yeah.
Way more. And I believe it was Todd Zalecki asked him after the game today about, he got a few Cy Young votes last season. There's a strong chance he's going to get a first place, maybe a few first place votes this season.
No doubt.
Obviously, Paul Skeens, Zach Wheeler ahead of him a little bit, but I mean, right now, it'd be a tough debate if I was voting and I had a first place vote, whether for Wheeler or for Sanchez. Obviously, a little home cooking, but it's incredible what he's doing. And, he answered that question by saying he doesn't really think about it, but it is a dream come true to even have his name in a Cy Young voting category. And just to see him dominate like that today. And obviously it helps when you get a little offense to start things going early. Nick Castellanos gets the RBI in the first inning. Yeah. Followed up by
Bryce. Bryce. Just making a break, man. That's what he does.
Oh, it was so insane. We're sitting here, and obviously they're showing Marsh on the broadcast. And if you're watching the game, you know what I'm talking about. They're showing Marsh, and all of a sudden Tom's like, "Oh, here comes Harper." I was like, "What?" And you didn't see him.
Startled. Marsh backs out of the box. Yeah.
Oh, what a cool moment for Bryce. I wish they would have given him a stolen base on that, but obviously it's the second straight night, which catcher's interference.
Yeah.
We'll get the Monday night's craziness here in a little bit, but just to have that offense come down, and then Kyle Schwarber hits his 33rd home run of the season on Tuesday night as well.
Kepler gives you a big hit.
And then Max Kepler is swinging it well. The last two games, Rob Thompson said after tonight on Tuesday here that, it's the walks. That's back-to-back games where he's had really good at-bats. And hey, if it's, I don't know if it's too late, but
yeah, I mean, he may not be long for Philadelphia, but after Sunday's game, his last at bat Sunday when they got beat 8-2 by the Angels, he made the last out of the game and he hit a missile right at the shortstop. And after the game, Rob Thompson was asked, like, what does Kepler have to do to get going? Because at that point he was hitting whatever he was hitting since, his comments in Houston. And, Rob Thompson said specifically he needs to get the ball in the air, which he hit the line drive. Last night, Monday night, he gets the hit down the line, which he elevated. Another line drive, obviously hits the ball out. So he's starting to elevate the ball a little bit. He's starting to hit a little harder. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not willing to sit here and be like, Max Kepler's back. He's going to be great the next 2 months. But I think they have some decisions to make with their outfield. Wouldn't shock me if he's not here in a week and a half. But he's showing you a little something, and, we'll see if it continues. But they have this run here against some right-handed pitching, so he's going to get a little runway, and we'll see what he does with it. But, yeah, good night for the offense. Harper, obviously, very exciting. Early offense all night, but then nothing really late. They kind of shut it down a little bit, but with Sanchez, they didn't need a whole lot. But I don't know, man. That offense, to me, still needs a little more punch, which I think they're going to do in some form or fashion by the deadline. And, maybe after the deadline, you see Justin Crawford come up. Not that he's going to hit the ball out of the ballpark a lot, but he'll give you a little juice offensively. But yeah, no, good night. Four runs was enough for Sanchez. A couple long balls. Bryce made the exciting base running play. So all around good win.
I don't want to kind of miss on Sanchi here. I mean, we ran in a post game, and Ricky brought it up as well. 46 strikeouts and 4 walks over his last 6 starts.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy.
That's 4 walks and 6 starts.
Yeah.
Let alone 46 strikeouts. He had 12 strikeouts tonight, matches his career high. I'm running out of things to say about Cristopher Sánchez just because it is. It's the starting rotation is obviously, we've talked about them so much, but since June 1st, he has a 1.63 ERA, 4th best in all baseball.
Yeah.
And
I know you're over there a lot. You obviously go down to spring training, and I was over there this past weekend in the clubhouse. And when you see him in person, dude, it looks like he's 6'8".
Yes.
Like he might be 6'8", and he's getting he used to be rail thin. He still is, but he's a little more physical now. He's bulked up. He's a monster. Like when you see him and you think of him like facing him on the mound with that extension he gets, how long he is, it'd be a pretty scary proposition for a hitter against him right now. And you mentioned the command. He's not just out there throwing gas. He's spotting his pitches. Sinker is excellent. The changeup is excellent, obviously. So yeah, no, he's great. And doesn't really show any signs of slowing down. They just gave him a little extra rest, which looks like a pretty wise decision by Rob Thompson coming out of the break. And ride him, man. I mean, if you can get to the playoff postseason and have those two guys start in game 1 and game 2, and then figure out game 3 after that, whether it's Nola, whether it's Ranger, if you move Ranger to the bullpen, who knows? But just Wheeler and Sanchez, boom, boom, in a playoff series is a tough start for any team.
Which is crazy because coming off last year, or even 2 years, even 3 years ago now, it was like, okay, Wheeler, Nola, 1-2, here we go. Cristopher Sánchez would be great.
Yep.
But here we are. Remember, what was it? Game 6 in Arizona.
I was game 5.
No,
pardon me. It was game 4 because Wheeler started game.
That's what it was.
2023
and the NLCS. Yes.
Wheeler started game 5. Game 4 was Sanchez, and he had that real short leash.
Dude.
Yeah.
And Rob pulled him after, I think 3 innings, I want to say, and went to Craig Kimbrell in the 4th or whatever it was. And it was like, oh, man. And now imagine saying that 2 years later.
Yeah. Well, last year he started game 2 against the Mets at home. Exactly. That was the only game they won.
Yep.
And he pitched well.
Because that was the whole thing where he pitched way better at home than he did on the road last season.
3. Yep. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he got a taste of it. He pitched fine in that game, in game 2. They got the win. And I think he'll be ready for the spotlight when the postseason comes, and just keep doing what he's doing, man. He is unbelievable.
It was awesome. We'll transition now to Monday. I mean, have you ever?
No, never seen a walk-off catcher's interference.
What in the world, man?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess a lot of people haven't. First one since 1971.
71. That's even before my time. They're beat by a solid decade. So.
But still, man, I mean, for Mundo Sosa then too, just to point it out immediately, because when it first happened, I was like, what's he arguing about? I didn't know if he was arguing the check swing. We've seen Sosa kind of be animated at the plate where he's no, pitch away or whatever. And I was thinking that, I'm like, oh, you check swung? No, he didn't. I don't think he even was thinking about that, like the check swing. Ends up hitting the glove. I mean, I was off sitting at home and was just like, what just happened? And no one really knew what happened. And all of a sudden, T-Mac and John in the booth were like, wait a second, that hit the glove. And that's going to be catcher's interference. They're going to win the game.
Yeah. So 2 points to make on this. Like this catcher's interference thing, I think the Red Sox, including the one Tuesday night, the rare balk one, they have 8 catcher's interference calls this year against the Red Sox, the Red Sox. I feel like a lot of these teams, and obviously the Red Sox are one of them, are emphasizing pitch framing and presenting the ball so much that the catchers are kind of jumping out, to get the ball, to kind of frame it, to catch it. And as a result, they're getting a lot. I don't know the stats, but catcher's interference calls to me are way up.
Yeah.
And I think it's as a result of these guys trying to kind of get out in front of it and frame it and present it to the umpire, try to steal a strike. So obviously the Red Sox are putting that as a premium, and it's kind of cost them a little bit. But that whole inning before that, the 10th inning, after Max Lazar does a great job in the top of the 10th, the Phillies don't put a ball in play in the bottom of the 10th, let alone he didn't get a ball at the infield. They didn't hit the ball that whole inning, and they win the game on a walk-off catcher's interference, which is crazy. And they needed that win. They had lost their previous 3 series. They didn't look good at all over the weekend against the Angels. I mean, honestly, Schwarber doesn't hit that grand slam, they probably get swept by the Angels. So, and then they're in this game. It's 2-2. The offense is struggling. You really needed that win. Obviously, a very bizarre ending, but they needed it. It was crazy. I had never seen anything like it, but they'll take it.
And I guess the best part is that Otto Kemp has seen 2 now in the last year. When he was, I believe it was Reading last year. Yeah, Otto Kemp's there. He was at second base when it happened, but he gets hit here. It's insane, man.
It is crazy.
Otto Kemp has seen 2 catcher's interference walk-offs in the last year, and there's only been 2 in Major League Baseball since 1971. So just a wild game. Let's hit on your weekend too. Obviously, you mentioned that you were over at the ballpark. You and I were over there Saturday. Got a good shout out to Chelsea for the pod plug on the screen there. But I mean, give me your takeaways. Like you said, if Schwarber doesn't hit that grand slam on Saturday afternoon, I guess Saturday evening.
Yep.
Which, let's talk about that real quick. So during that, if you saw us on the broadcast, I was talking to Paul Casella, the MLB.com writer. He's fantastic, one of the nicest human beings on the planet. And him and I were talking. He leaned over and said, "Is that the loudest you've ever heard CBP non-October? Not in October, whatever you want to say." And I said, yes. Yeah. That was the loudest I've ever heard that place in a non-October, even like late September game where they're clinching. Because the only thing I could think of was when they walked off the Pirates to clinch a spot in the playoffs.
Rojas had to hit.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think Rojas scored.
Oh, Rojas scored.
Yes.
Rojas had to hit, maybe.
Yeah. I think Rojas, or maybe it was Rodolfo Castro who scored.
I'm almost positive Rojas had to hit.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, but I was there
2
for
years
that.
ago, right?
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Against the Pirates there, and that place was loud. But it wasn't 44,000 strong loud like that. And you and I were there. I mean, the build up to, you kind of just feel it coming. The crowd got so into it. The Red Sox or the Angels go in for a pitching mound visit. Sorry, it's late. And the crowd, I mean, obviously Fanavision, everyone at the ballpark does such a great job to get everyone fired up. And it was loud. And then for Kyle to come through like that, it was awesome. Yeah. But like you said, that's about the only bright spot of the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. And just focusing on that grand slam, like that's what, like with the great ones,
yes,
it's almost like inevitable. Like you just said, you could sense it coming. The spot, Turner walks works a walk to load the bases, and then Schwarber's coming up. The place is electric. They're chanting MVP already. And he hits it, and it was loud. The contact was loud. But, he even said it himself. He's like, I know I hit it good, but it looked like it hit kind of like a force field up there, and I was wondering if it had enough, and then I was just hoping it would hit the wall, and obviously it sneaks out, and then the place just goes crazy. He takes the curtain call. What a week for him between the All-Star heroics, and he homers on his first swing on Friday.
Crazy.
Which was unreal. And then Saturday, the Grand Slam, his 8th of his career. He's unbelievable, man. Then he hits another one Tuesday night, 33 homers, on pace for over 50. Just having a great year. That was electric. That
50 would be the first Philly to do it since Howard, correct? I believe so.
I want to say the only Philly to do it since Howard. Howard has 58. I don't know that Ryan had 2 50 home run seasons. I think he only had the 58 in 06, but I think his next highest were in the high 40s, I think. Don't quote me on that.
We got a computer. We'll check it out. Go ahead.
Check it out. But yeah, while you're checking that out, no, he's just great, man. He's awesome. But yeah, that was kind of the only bright spot of that series. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Harper had a great series against the Angels. He had 3 home runs over the weekend, which was great to see. A couple doubles on Monday night. But in terms of them, winning games, Schwarber's Grand Slam was really the only positive. The starting pitching, I thought, in that series, which, Rob Thompson elected to give Sanchez and Wheeler some extra rest, come out of the gates with Luzardo, Walker, and Ranger.
Yep.
So the starting pitching was dicey. Luzardo specifically. Friday night, Taiwan got hit hard on Saturday night in that 4th inning, pardon me. And then Ranger really didn't look like himself. Hopefully that's just a one-start blip. But yeah, no, luckily they were able to at least salvage one and not get swept by the Angels, but it wasn't a great weekend for sure.
And I guess, you're right. Let's kind of focus on the bright spot too. Bryce Harper, 13 extra base hits in the last 8 games, not including tonight. That was coming into tonight.
He didn't have a single tonight.
Yes.
13, first Philly in the modern era to have 13 extra base hits over an 8-game span, at any 8-game span, which is crazy.
They needed that, man. Yeah. They needed 3 to get hot, and to have him. And dude, we were sitting there too on Saturday, and he had that double down the first base line. It was 108 off the bat. It was one of the hardest hit balls from him from this season. Yeah. And you could just hear it like right off the bat. And you're like, okay, yeah, he's here. Right. It's about time. Like we're getting the Bryce Harper that we love and know. And for him to come through this weekend, obviously the wins weren't there, but it's so funny. Like everyone will just take a deep breath. Yeah. They just won a series against a good Red Sox team. Especially Cristopher Sánchez comes out. The Red Sox are one of the best left-handed hitting teams when they're facing a left-handed pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. So for him to come out there and shut him down like they did tonight, let's all take a deep breath. Everything's good.
I just checked, by the way, Howard.
Yeah, so
58
in 2006.
Yep, and then that's the record. Pardon me. And then second is 48. Schmidt in 80, Howard in 08.
So there you go.
There's only one 50 home run season in Phillies history, and they've been playing baseball since 1883. So I think Schwarber's going to get there this year. Yeah. And I'd be really surprised at this point if he doesn't. He's still got over 2 months left to get 17 homers. So
way doable.
Just crazy. Yeah. And he just keeps going and is just solid. And he's really like offensively, at least, like Turner's kind of dipped a little bit. He's been pretty good for the most part. Harper was obviously out, but offense has been so hot or cold. But he's been like the one constant, he's average wise is just kind of stuck around in that 240, 250 range. His OPS has been over 900 all year. The home runs have been steady. As Rob Thompson said the other night, I don't know where we'd be without him offensively, but huge hit Saturday, another one on Tuesday night, another home run. So keep going, Schwarbs. He's gonna make himself a few extra dollars, I think, at the bargaining table after the season.
Well, that's a good transition too, then.
He had some good comments on that on Saturday night, the contract stuff, because that was a big topic of this. Harper was effusive in his praise. Yes. That we need him here. Dombo knows we need him here. He's the best teammate I ever had.
Bryce said he can't see him in any other uniform. Yep.
And Schwarber was asked by your buddy, Paul Casella.
Yes.
Do you think maybe there could be a chance something gets done before the end of the year? And Schwarber, being the team guy, said, I think it's something you kind of wait to the end, because I hate to think that I'm not pouring everything I have into this team right now. I don't want to be distracted by numbers being exchanged or thinking about what deal or this deal. And I just want to do everything I can to help this team win games, which he's doing a great job of that. But it was pretty classic response from what you'd expect from him.
Shout out to Kyle. It was such a perfect answer. And I know people, every single thing. We posted the video today. We were in the stands and he hit the home run, and it goes to a guy. He was just holding a blank check to Kyle Schwarber. And they pan to it. And, it is. And it's been the main talking point, one of the main talking points all season here. And I think for him to kind of just put those talks to rest, like, let's stop worrying about the contract. Obviously, it's funny. I've seen some tweets and random comments on Instagram that are like, there will be riots outside CBP if they don't re-sign Kyle Schwarber. I would have to agree with that. Yeah. But just for Kyle to come out there and say that, and his comments too about just being here and seeing himself even develop as a person here in Philadelphia, just being braced where he can be himself. We've seen the best version of Kyle Schwarber, and it does solidify. I think even if he, I don't know, I think they will re-sign him, but even if they don't, I think if he's all said and done, if he ends up making it to Cooperstown, I think he will have a Phillies hat on his head. Interesting.
That's my opinion. This rate, he's going to get pretty darn close to 500 home runs. Yep. And that gets you a ticket to Cooperstown for sure. He's such a great teammate. He's so well respected. Everywhere he goes, and it's not a coincidence, they win.
Yep.
The Cubs haven't won a World Series in 108 years, and he's on that squad. And obviously he was hurt, but he comes back for the World Series. They win. He goes to Washington for a little bit, but then he heads up to Boston. They make a great run in the postseason. Phillies hadn't been to the playoffs in 11 years. His first year, playoffs.
Yep.
They're going to go all 4 years he's here. I just think he's a winner. He's a leader. Means so much on and off the field. So, I'd be pretty surprised. It's going to cost them, but I think they're going to try to bring him back however they can. John Middleton said as much. Dombrowski obviously knows it. So
even Bryce comments it's him saying that he's the leader. He's the one that talks on the bus. He's the one that does all that.
Yeah.
That just speaks volumes, especially coming from Bryce Harper, saying it's one of the best teammates he's ever had. That speaks volumes because Bryce Harper is basically your leader. He's the best player on the team.
And for Bryce to put Kyle above Papelbon as far as teammates, it's big time. Bryce, the respect he holds for Papelbon, you thought I was maybe going like
Trey or
somebody. No, we're talking
Reese
Papelbon. In terms of the teammate list for Bryce is pretty, because I know Bryce had a lot of respect for him.
That he did.
Right through that brawl the two of them had in the dugout a few years back.
Shout out to the National.
Yeah, Johnny Paps. I like Johnny Paps. He got the job done here. But
that he did.
Yeah.
That he did.
Everybody says he's a good teammate, so I'll take their word for it. But anyhow, not to get off track.
No, you're right. You're exactly right.
There.
All right, Kaner. Bird season quickly approaching, as we mentioned in the last one. Training camp starts on Wednesday of this week, and that means that we are only about 6 weeks away from week one. I know you're fired up, right?
Super fired up, man. The Super Bowl champs getting back to work. Feels like yesterday we're parading down Broad Street on Valentine's Day, but here we are, man. Training camp starting up at the NovaCare Complex. Football season. Super pumped, super excited. Should be fun.
We can't wait, and especially for this game. Join NBC Sports Philadelphia and Phillies Sports Trips for the ultimate fan experience. Lock in your spot today and be a part of the Birds takeover in Kansas City the weekend of September 13th through the 16th. Obviously, a rematch of the Super Bowl. Should be a fun one. Book now. One game, one last ride in a Phillies uniform, one unforgettable moment. Relive Cole Hamels' no-hitter through his eyes. And let's watch it together, Philly. This Thursday, July 24th, only on NBC Sports Philadelphia. It's Philly Classics presents Hamels' no-hitter, presented by Granite Run Buick GMC. No tariffs, big savings, where freedom comes standard. Sean, I know we got a big part in this one. How excited are you for Thursday?
Oh, super excited for Thursday. It's going to be awesome. Cole in studio reliving his no-hitter. A lot of special guests. Tom McCarthy, Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury,
the GOAT,
in the mix, and some other exciting, kind of surprise guests that were involved in that day. Casey Feeney is producing this show. He's been working on it for a while. So it's going to be cool, and it's live. So you can chime in from home. You can send them on social media. You can interact with Cole and the guys. So it's going to be awesome. And I can't believe it's been 10 years since that game in Wrigley Field, man. And then a couple days later, Ruben shipped him down to Texas.
Again, yep. One last moment in a Phillies uniform for Cole. It's almost, think of it as like a Manning cast, or NBC Sports Philadelphia's own Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, the brothers, when they do their Monday Night Football on ESPN. Think of it like that. So make sure you tune in this Thursday. Let's talk about Gage Wood real quick. And then we'll talk about John Middleton's comments, Dave Dombrowski's comments. There's a lot to dive into. We'll kind of sum it up quickly. We'll start with Gage. Obviously, him. Oh, should we put it on first?
You got a helmet there?
Yeah, I do.
Nice. A new helmet.
A new helmet.
That is great.
It's for everyone watching on YouTube. If you're listening, Ricky Bowe, there's a Phillies batting helmet that we've had here.
You really took ownership of it.
It's been around for quite a while.
Yep.
And our favorite buddy Ricky Metallico smashed it the other night.
And really, what could be described as an act of insanity, just out of the blue, unannounced, smashed a batting helmet in the middle of the news.
And I wasn't here for it.
Right.
So he felt confident to do it not in front of me. We've been playing games with each other. I don't know. It somehow ended up on his desk. He said if it ends up on his desk again, it's broken. It happened. Mm-hmm. But shout out to Shawnee. your son coming through with the helmet.
My son was here after it happened the next day or two, and he saw you. You had taped it back together.
I did.
And that's awful. We were explaining the story for him. So he said, we got to get you a new one. So with a little help from his mom, that was delivered here to the office today, and we unwrapped it and presented it to Spence. Or you unwrapped it, I should say.
It's one of the best gifts I've ever received.
Good.
So shout out to Shawnee. The Phillies helmet will survive, and we'll keep it moving. But speaking of keeping it moving, Gage Wood, he finally signs his contract here on Tuesday afternoon. He gets into CBP. Now, he did say he's been some of the games. He has the video recording of Schwarber's home run, the grand slam from Saturday. I love his interview. So they had the scrum, obviously, but Ashlyn Sullivan caught up with him during the game today in the 5th inning on Tuesday. And he said that he goes, I'm so excited to play in front of these rabid fans.
That's great.
It's perfect. And he's experienced it. And I am going to piggyback what I've said on the last podcast. Bring him up.
See you in September.
See you in September. He'll head down to Clearwater here shortly. He said he's really excited to get down to Florida. He said he's just been kind of like working out in the hotel, gym, throwing on the patch of grass out in the parking lot. Yeah. So it was just great to see Gage, and obviously his comments here. And the comment that kind of backs my theory up is that in the interview with Ashlyn, he said, we'll see how fast we get fast tracked.
Fast track. He said the fast track, which when he had the scrum earlier in the day, they asked him that question because that's been a lot of the talk, like how quick is he going to get up here? And you could tell he was kind of coached, or at least 100%. He knew that was coming. And he's like, I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to do my best down there. I'm going to let the front office make that decision, and whatever happens, happens. But then in Ashlyn's interview, he kind of let it get away from him a little bit. And he would say, said all the right things, but he was like, and hopefully I can get fast tracked. And he was like, I could tell he was, I probably shouldn't have use that phrase, but I'm just going to go down there and do my best and whatever happened, and then he got back to, what he had been saying earlier. But, it's in the back of his mind. If I can go down there and perform and get back up here and, maybe help the big club, as you say, this year, which would be crazy. If not this year, next year, I think you're definitely going to be seeing in some capacity. He was also asked, does he see himself as more of a starter and a reliever? He said whatever the team wants, but then he proceeded to say, I do think my stuff kind of it gets stronger as we go. It's not like I'm a guy after an inning or two, my stuff, he's like, no, I can go. So that's kind of my way of his way of saying, like, I think I can be a starter. Like, I think my stuff plays and I can go through these lineups a couple times. But if they need him as a bullpen guy this year, at least, there's certainly nothing wrong with that.
The only thing that would stink is that obviously if he comes in here in a late game, September, not even before October, and he gets shelled, then we'll figure it out. But it was the best too. He's got the fastball and the curveball. He said to Ashlyn too that he's going to head down to Clearwater and work on 2 other pitches. Don't know what those are. I'm assuming maybe a changeup, maybe a cutter, maybe a slider, whatever it may be. Excited to see what else he has in the tank in his arsenal, and it should be fun. I don't know, man. Can I just bring him up in September?
Yeah, the Phillies they showed they showed in 23 that they're not afraid to Now, Kirkering wasn't drafted in 23, but he kind of came out of nowhere, went all through all the levels of the system in 23. I think he started in single A and he ended up pitching in the NLCS. And Thompson leaned on him. They brought him up in September and they put him out there. And then he was, in the NLCS in some big spots where he fared mixed bag kind of. Correct. But, if the guy shows that he's worth it, they're not afraid to kind of use guys that haven't been around all season. If you emerge late and you come up and you're an option, then they'll give you the ball. So we'll see, man.
We'll see. Now we'll shift gears to another name that we could see come August, because I think, as Dave Dombrowski alluded to, Justin Crawford, they're going to see how this trade deadline pans out, and we'll see. But just another name that everyone's been clamoring for all season long. Obviously, he's raking still in AAA. I love that the game was on
MLB Network. I was going to say that.
National broadcast. National broadcast, if you want to call it that. It was on MLB Network. They were playing the Tides. He was 2 for 2 with 2 walks.
On base 4 times. OBP 413 now.
Come on, man. And then everyone was so worried about, he's not really facing major league pitching, which, whatever you want to call it, AAA, it's, in my opinion, major league pitching to a point. He's fared well. And I think, depending on what this team does at the trade deadline, I'm very excited to see Justin Crawford hopefully in August.
Yeah. I mean, the big knock on him was he hits too many ground balls. And, he does hit ground balls, but he's hitting 330 in AAA and in almost 80 games now. 31 stolen bases now. I mentioned the OBP over 400, plays a nice outfield. So, Dave Dombrowski was asked about him on Monday specifically, have you entertained it at all? He's like, oh, yeah, it's crossed our mind. We just haven't really had a good time to do it in terms of bringing him up. And he said the one thing when you bring Justin Crawford up, he needs to play. You're not going to bring him up here and play him 2 or 3 times a week. You need to play him regularly. And Dave Dombrowski said it's something where, maybe we get our situation straightened out up here. That could mean they make a trade or two in the outfield. Maybe Max Kepler's not around anymore and Marsh goes over to left. So we got to figure out what we're doing here, and then maybe he comes up in a week or two. So we'll see. But if he keeps performing, it's not like the Phillies have this dynamic outfield that you can't crack. I mean, they need some punch out there. And, I think he could be a guy that kind of gives them a little juice at the bottom of the lineup, maybe about him 8th or 9th. Treat him as a second leadoff man. He gets on base in front of Turner down there or something like that. So, I don't think he's going to be in AAA much longer. No. I think he's going to be up in a couple weeks.
Which makes me excited, should make Phillies fans excited, especially to see this kid that we've heard of for the last, he was drafted in 2022. Yeah, I was going to say, because Painter was 21, Abel was 20.
Yep. Crawford 22, Miller 23.
Yep.
Dante Nori 24, and your guy Gage.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Now we'll keep switching gears here. You were in that John Middleton scrum on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great comments from John Middleton. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of All-Star talk, which we didn't even get to.
Yeah.
You and I talked privately about the All-Star stuff.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. But yeah, I mean, obviously the long-winded answers, it was almost a 2.5 to 3 minute answer of what this team needs to look for. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Kyle Schwarber answer was great, where he said, "We love Kyle. We're going to do it whatever it takes."
Extra motivation.
Exactly.
What he did in the Derby, we didn't need it.
There should be no motivation.
Right.
To re-sign Kyle Schwarber.
Swing off. Sorry.
Same thing. Same thing.
Copy swing off.
But the comments about the bullpen, and John Middleton laid out this whole long answer about how bullpens are different in the postseason compared to the regular season.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to a trade deadline special podcast here down the road. What were your takeaways? You obviously were in that scrum. What were your takeaways from that long answer?
It was funny. The Phillies PR staff was like, "Hey, John's going to talk, but he just really wants to talk about bringing the All-Star game." They unveiled the All-Star logo for 26, and that's very exciting.
Big deal.
So that's what we're going to talk about. And okay, of course, there's a bunch of reporters there, and you knew at some point they're going to be asking him more stuff. So we start off talking about that, but then you get into everything in the trade deadline, and you expect Dave to be aggressive. Of course, that's all he knows. But the whole the bullpen's going to look different in the postseason is true. And Dave Dombrowski alluded to that himself several times, because when he was in Boston in 2018, when they won the World Series, they moved several starters to the bullpen in the postseason, kind of pieced it together, and it won them a World Series. So it doesn't take, they've said it, like in the NLDS, certainly the wild card series, but even in the NLDS, with the off days in that series, you really only need 3 starters. So we've talked about this. I think Luzardo is going to be a bullpen guy. If Nola comes back, and I think he's going to pitch well, maybe you have the option to put Ranger in the pen, since he's done that before. He meant, Painter's been thrown around. He mentioned Mick Abel. So there's options, and the bullpen will look a lot different. Once October arrives, they're going to obviously make some acquisitions as well. David Robertson, who knows? He pitched well for him in October 3 years ago now. But John Middleton, I thought, was very forthcoming. Clearly, it's the organizational thinking. He's talked with Dave Dombrowski. He's talked with the front office. That's going to be their deal with the bullpen. There's going to be some starters moved. But he did say, on the other hand, you can't just trade all the prospects. You got to compete in 5-10 years too. And so, but all that said, I think he is on board with Dave Dombrowski doing whatever he needs to do. Cost be darned, and we'll see how it ends up. But Middleton was good. He was good on a number of things. You mentioned what he said about Schwarber. So I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting to hear from him. And, a week or so out from the deadline, it was pretty timely that he had some thoughts on which way they're going to be headed. Yeah.
When this pod comes out, there will be 8 days before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, we'll have a whole trade deadline stuff, but I do want to just hit real quick. It is interesting. I've seen some of the most egregious trades on Twitter and on social media. And it's just and I get it's the sports talk shows and all that stuff now. That's what we're going to do. But I'm going to stand on my milk box real quick again. I agree with you that this team needs a bat. Is Stephen Kwan that answer? I do not believe so. Do not give up Aiden Miller. Do not give up Mick Abel. Do not give up Justin Crawford to get Stephen Kwan and Emmanuel Clase. That's just my opinion.
Interesting.
Even the talks of Mason Miller and Brent Rooker, do not give up Aiden Miller for any of those guys. Okay. That's my opinion.
So you're a prospect guy. All right.
Dude, because here's what's going to happen. I'm fooling on going all in, but it better be for the right guy.
Okay.
Stephen Kwan's not a difference maker. This team, if they want something, they need a difference maker, whether that's Adolis Garcia, whether that's, you just need a big bat. We've shown that this team can get hits collectively.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's been kind of the bugaboo over the last few years of, they can't come up with a timely hit. It has to be a home run or nothing. I think they've shown over the last month or so that they can collect these hits. Nick Castellanos has come up huge. Trey Turner has come up in spots that at least, and you and I sat there on Saturday and we said, we're like, can you imagine that? It was Trey walked, Schwarber base hit, Bryce comes up. Good luck.
Right.
When all three of those guys are going, and then you have Nick following them up, Bones on the IL, obviously, we didn't even get to that. But when you have those guys going the way that they should, you don't need another guy, at least not to give up prospects to go get a guy like Stephen Kwan. That's just my opinion.
All right.
Because here's what's going to happen. Do you want Trey's and Bryce's final years to be what 2011, 2012, 2013 look like for the Phillies?
Okay.
In my opinion, you do not. You want Justin Crawford. You want Aiden Miller. You want Andrew Painter here holding down the fort. I just don't think there's not a big name out there this year unless you go make a move like the Giants did with Devers.
Okay.
We figured Devers was going to get traded. We didn't think it was going to be then. We didn't think it was going to be to the Giants. If there's a guy out there like Devers that it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow, didn't expect that guy to get traded like that, then do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's for Stephen Kwan or any of these guys, like obviously Eugenio Suarez, I don't think we need him.
No.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, Suarez obviously he's red hot and he can hit the ball to the ballpark. But
again, I'd rather have Alec Boehm. I'd rather have a guy hit 20 home runs and have 90 to 100 RBIs and not strike out half of his at-bats. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have Alec Boehm than Suarez. But that's me.
So I'm a bigger. I didn't come into this podcast thinking I'd be carrying the banner for Stephen Kwan. I get you on that, but I guess I'm a little higher on a Stephen Kwan type than other. I mean, I get it. He's not going to hit the ball to the ballpark, but he generally hits a little under 300. OBP is pretty high. He plays a really good outfield. Stephen Kwan and Clase to me is a package that would be appealing. Now, I wouldn't give up Painter, but I think I'd be a little quicker to ship Aiden Miller out, perhaps.
Ugh.
Also, so you'd be out on Miller and Rooker too, huh?
100%.
Wow,
do not trade Aiden Miller, dude.
Okay,
do not trade Aiden Miller. I mean, do you want Bryce's final few years here to be an absolute disaster?
No, I hear you because Miller's obviously a cornerstone and he's going to be a good player, no doubt. I'm just like, but do you want Bryce to win a World Series?
100%.
So then,
but do you think Brent Rooker is going to be the difference maker? Do you think
Mason Miller might? Mason Miller, Stephen Kwan and Brent Rooker give you some offense, and now obviously they're different hitters. But Rooker, the thing with Rooker is though he's generally a DH. So then you got the Schwarbarian, Roman left field again, perhaps, which obviously, but whatever, he's done okay out there. But I don't know. I don't know how you fit in Brent Rooker, but I know his bat is what you need. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Sure.
And he lengthens that lineup, and he's a right-handed bat. I'd pull the trigger on Mason Miller and Brent Rooker.
What would your package look like?
I would give up
Abel.
Oh yeah.
I would give up Abel.
I give
Dante Nori.
Painter would probably
Painter. To me, Painter and Miller and Crawford untouchable.
See, I don't give the Miller or Crawford untouchable label. I like
unless, but like I said, Brent Rooker does not move that needle for me.
Okay.
Mason Miller, maybe. I'm still not giving it up.
All right.
I do think that they need Clase Duran. Or Duran, I still don't know how to say it.
Yeah, you're talking Duran. The Twins really.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Or
Duran.
Mason Miller.
Yeah.
Would do that.
Right.
Out of those three guys, I would take Emmanuel Clase to give up Miller there.
Okay. So if you had to give up Aiden Miller, you'd rather have Clase of the three.
Correct.
Interesting. All right.
But I wouldn't throw out.
Stevie Kwan comes over too.
Sure.
Plays the heck out of left field for the rest of the year.
I don't want Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan doesn't move the needle. He doesn't move the needle for me, man. And I know I'm going to get crap for this. I'm a
lot of Stephen Kwan fans out there.
Sure,
not happy.
Sure,
but yes. All right.
It's just, and some, like I said, some of the trades are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And again, if I'm Dave Dombrowski, which I'm not, this is my opinion. I would give up Marsh, Rojas, or one of them.
Yeah.
And then maybe Abel, Arun Escobar, Dante Nori. I would do that. I would give up maybe a big leaguer.
Yeah.
Do not throw Miller in that package.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man. I think if they give up Aiden Miller, they're going to regret that so much.
All right.
And I think Phillies fans will regret it, especially whatever team he goes to and he turns into the next Austin Riley.
Last 3 years, Brent Rooker, 30 dingers, 39 dingers, and he's got 21 right now. He had 112 ribbies last year.
Yeah.
Brent Rooker's an all-star. Obviously, he was
DFA for a reason.
Yeah. No, I get it. He's not the perfect player, but he's just a guy I think that would really help their lineup. But
it's tough, man.
Mason Miller would help their bullpen.
Mason Miller would be great. I would love Mason Miller.
Right.
But I would take Clase.
Yeah.
Clase, I don't know if I'd take. I might take Duran over Clase too. That's tough.
Yeah.
I love Duran, dude.
I would probably pack up all the prospects not named Andrew Painter and drive them to Sacramento for Rooker and Miller.
Then the A's are going to win the World Series in like 2029, and we're going to sit here and be like, "Gosh darn it!"
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I hear you. No, it's a balance. In all seriousness, it's a balance, and I get it. I'm not saying that Brent Rooker guarantees your World Series or Stephen Kwan.
And I'm full in. I'm going all in this year. I'm full in. I don't think the guys that are available right now at this trade deadline, at least the names that are out there right now, are that move the needle type.
Okay,
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no,
I had to get off. I had to step on my milk box.
Milk box it up. Yeah, but no, it's interesting. It's a good debate, and one of the more interesting things, not to belabor this, that Middleton said he flashed back to last deadline when they were making that offer for Crochet.
Yes,
to the White Sox.
Such a great yes.
And Dombrowski came to him and he was like, I don't think we should even be making this. I'm not so sure we should be making this offer. That's how good this offer is. And they didn't take it, which they were like, okay, if they take it, great. If they don't, great. That means we keep these guys. But from what I've heard and what's been reported, it sounded like Crawford and Miller were in that deal.
Would not surprise me.
I think. I mean, who knows what was proposed for Garrett Crochet?
For Garrett Crochet?
Yeah.
Sure.
Which would have been, you would have had him last year. You would have him this year,
That's a move the needle type of guy.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. Like I said, is Brent Rooker. I'm trying to keep going real quick. And then I just want to find this. This is the trade. I'm not going to say the name of who it is, but there was a trade proposal on it received 68% no. There's a Twitter feed or a Twitter account that said, here's a trade deadline prediction. Phillies get Felix Bautista, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and Ramon Laureano
from the O's
for Aiden Miller, Mick Abel, Arun Escobar, and another lower tier prospect.
Interesting. Sir Anthony coming back, huh? I mean, obviously Bautista I like in that deal.
But like Ramon Laureano, who was good like 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a great deal. I don't think you give up Aiden Miller in that type of deal.
Absolutely not.
No. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Mick Abel.
There's another Class A one that I got to find at some point. Maybe we'll recap it again another time. But
it's heating up, man. We're gonna start seeing what I don't know. I think all the smoke about they're ready to do something big after these last couple deadlines are really not doing anything that ended up helping them.
But am I wrong in saying that we've heard that before? Like, I feel like the last 2 years, it's like they're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's Austin Hayes and Carlos Estevez.
Michael Lorenzen.
Rodolfo Castro.
Yeah. Noah Syndergaard.
Yeah. So yeah, if Dave can pull the trigger and get someone big, absolutely. But I agree with the Bryce Harper won a World Series now. Zach Wheeler won a World Series now, but you have Trey for 9 more years. You have Bryce for 6.5 more years.
Yeah.
Soon to be 6. I just don't. I want Aiden Miller and Justin Crawford up here with Andrew Painter, kind of carrying those guys as their
that's the next wave. And I think they obviously learned from what happened after that great run from 07 to 11 for a variety of reasons. Injuries were a big part of that. Yeah. To Howard specifically, and obviously Utley kind of broke down a little bit, but and Halladay broke down too. So I think they know that happened and they want to kind of sustain it the best they can. So it's a delicate balance. But that group, the 07 to 11 group, won a World Series.
Correct.
This group has to win a World Series.
They have
Harper Wheeler era. They have to win a World Series. Like they've been there. They've been so close. I don't think anybody is unbeatable this year. I think it's there for the taking.
I mean, the Milwaukee Brewers we sit here on July 22nd. They have the best record in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and they're good. But you don't worry.
Not worried about it.
We got to hit the Brewers in the playoff series. Back to our original point. When you have Wheeler and Sanchez in 1 and 2, you got a shot against anybody in this series.
Yep. And I think the rest of the National League, the rest of baseball is scared of this starting rotation. Yeah. As they should be.
For sure.
As they should be. So, that's good. I'll step off the milk box. If you want to yell at me, come to my Twitter. No, not you.
No.
Our listeners.
Yes.
Because I don't know. If there's a move the needle type of guy, do it.
Okay.
But if there's not,
Aiden Miller,
please
and
stay.
never Gage Wood. He's not going to.
Absolutely. And that's what I meant to say. Yeah. Andrew Painter, Justin Crawford, Aiden Miller, Gage Wood. Holding down the fort as Bryce. Yeah. And probably Schwarber's contract, his second contract with the Phillies ends. And hopefully, wouldn't that be great if they could win that team? Watch that team win the World Series.
Okay. That'd be great.
They finally have these talent. They finally have these prospects, man. I don't want to give them up for the wrong guys.
Sure. I get it.
Just in case, Stephen Kwan comes up here and what's the bed and we're sitting here.
Yeah.
We don't have Aiden Miller. So,
all right.
That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Well, yeah, like I said, little tease. We should have a nice big trade deadline pod coming up at the beginning of next week. As for this week, we'll catch you guys hopefully at the end of this series up in New York. Fun one coming up, dude.
Yeah.
It should be a fun one. They close out with the Red Sox on Wednesday, ESPN game. So no pregame, no postgame here on NBC Sports Philadelphia, but it will be on ESPN. Then they head up to New York. That's going to be a fun series, man. I'm excited. I'm very excited for that New York series. 2 afternoon games too on Saturday, Sunday. So.
Yeah. Luzardo goes tomorrow, off day Thursday, and then I guess it'll be Taiwan to start that series on Friday, Rangers Saturday, and Wheels on Sunday. So.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Should be a fun one. So hopefully we'll catch you guys after that Yankee series. Then keep an eye out for a nice big podcast with a lot of special guests on before that trade deadline.
Stephen Kwan's going to call in. Maybe we'll get Rooker. Our friends at the Bay Area.
Should we? Yeah, we should. We actually should talk to our friends at the Bay Area.
No doubt.
And see what their thoughts on. They would probably take that deal in a heartbeat because Aiden Miller's the guy. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Anyway, on that note, we got to get out of here. It's late. We'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully, the Phils can take a New York series up in the Bronx, and we'll rock from there. So, for Sean Kane, I'm Spencer McKercher. We'll talk to you guys then.